The kinds of synthetic drugs that people are using are getting stronger. However, the solution for overdoses isn't always keeping up.
People who have taken fentanyl and carfentanil need 2, 3, sometimes 4 doses of Narcan to be revived.
Paramedics say it's a guessing game to save lives.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson shows us how the stronger drugs make the job more difficult for first responders.
Last year was a bad year as far as how many times area paramedics were called to save drug users' lives. This year seems to be a better year so far.
I can't say that the usage is down, just that the number of calls for us to respond to overdoses are down.
While they're being called out less, they're still stocking the same amount of this life-saving drug, Narcan.
We run reports to see how often we're giving Narcan. There's a lot of misinformation because it's not one dosage per person. You could give up to 3 dosages for one patient alone. Just because you give them a dose, they become awake, but then they go back down again. Got to give them another dose, they come up again. Those kinds, sometimes they do have to be transported because then they have to be put on a Narcan drip.
Nationwide, heroin and other types of users have switched to synthetic drugs because they're cheaper and easier to get, but much more dangerous, leaving paramedics scrambling to figure out which drug they took and try and save their life.
It's a kind of a trial and error, but typically you look around, your situational awareness, you're looking in, seeing if there's any needles and stuff like that, if there's any bystanders saying this is what they took.
If the person is still breathing or there seems to be hope, they'll always try Narcan, even though the drug can be costly. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
If the opioid crisis is called a national emergency by the president, it would allow the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to negotiate with drug makers for discounts on Narcan.